Gross, the LA probate expert, and this is our Tuesday afternoon real estate investing zoom.com, realestateinvestingzoom.com. So I'm really excited to announce it's soon to be rebranded starting next week. We do this every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific time in Los Angeles, for example, when I'm home, or 6 p.m. Eastern time, like today. I'm actually calling you Eastern time zone from Orlando, Florida. In fact, I'll show you guys. I can't keep it in the background because the lighting is different, but that's the view out my window of this magnificent golf course. Florida as flat as can be. I can't keep the lighting on both of us. So if I do the background, then I go dark, or dark. So I'm here in Florida for the annual eXp Realty Shareholders meeting with a bunch of great people learning a bunch of great stuff. Hopefully getting better at what I do as a real estate agent and as an investor, certainly more ambitious as a result of all that. And so here we are. I wanted to share with you guys today, where is the chat? There we go. No, I need to put that back on chat. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm a little iffy today because I am broadcasting live, restreaming. I actually had bought a piece of equipment to have more fancy stuff and to interview people, but unfortunately it didn't quite work with the hardware we have. So it's a little choppy, I apologize, and the connection's not ideal. But you know, we'll do the best we can. I think a lot of real estate is you do it and you do the best you can, and then you work on improving it next time. So that's just how we're gonna have to go with it. I wanted to share with you guys today a fantastic message I heard from Jarek Robbins, who I'm not sure if anybody besides me would know this, but Jarek Robbins is Tony Robbins' son, and he is the president of a company called Success. Success is a magazine. It's been around for over 100 years. Preeminent. Siri, nobody wants to talk to you. Why are you jumping in here, Siri? Okay. No. Why are we doing this? Stop. Sorry about that. Siri jumped in on my MacBook Pro. She's a little bit of a Badinsky. Anyhow, Jarek Robbins is the head coach for a company called Success Magazine. Success, and they have a magazine. They also do coaching. And so today he was sharing a fantastic explanation of motivation. And it really applies to everything that we do. I think that when people try to transform, and I've talked about this before, when you try to transform from one thing to another, change one thing to another, 90% of that process is mental, is in your mind. Now, sometimes mindset can be about positive versus negative, but also sometimes it's about where you focus on. What you think is important may not be the thing that's really most important. And so he broke down a try to keep it simple. Now I lost the picture. There we are. He talked about the focus is on what are you focusing on? What are you doing this for? I think that this speaks to the investor who wants to get started, but just can't get that first property. This speaks to investors who's struggling, but just can't get over the hump into where they're really making any real money or accumulating any real wealth. Or anybody who's trying to change the level up. It's what you focus on. He talked about there's 4 levels of where you focus. And he had a pretty graph, but I'll just try to explain it as best I can.
No.
Level 1, the lowest level, is you focus on yourself. When you focus on what you want, what you need,
yeah, at least
rather than okay, I'm sorry. Was that? I don't know if that was to me or not. I don't think so. Okay. When you focus on yourself, business gets very difficult because everything you do then is about how you feel. And life is a battle. You can't hear me at all? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Sound check? We can hear you right now.
Okay. So I'm going in now, or is there connection problems?
It seemed like you went out for a bit at one point, but
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to stop changing anything. We're not showing any graphics. We're just going to give a basic from here, and hopefully the technology will get us through. So again, there's 4 levels to focus on. This is really a critical point. It really moved me. Number 1 level is yourself. When you are focused on yourself, everything's hard. Think about those you have kids. When you focus on how you feel, it's difficult to take care of them. When you focus on your child's pleasure, you'll get up early, you'll stay up later, you'll work harder, you'll endure the pain to make your child happy that you might not for yourself. We'll do more for other people than we do ourselves. That's the second level, though, is we do something for somebody else, but we do that because they do something for us. So again, I'm going to give some advice that is great marriage advice that I know of. It doesn't mean that I do it all the time. But if you're in marriage and the only purpose of the marriage is because your spouse makes you feel good, that marriage is really tough. Marriage should be about making somebody else feel good, serving another person so you can become more together. And so in business, sometimes we'll focus on treating well our employees, but we're not worried about anybody else. That's a level up from yourself, is when you have an employee or multiple employees that you care about. The next level up from there is when you care about yourself, the people that help you, and then those people in your community that you benefit from, but they're not all about you. So think about any community you're part of, a classroom or a team that you're on, or maybe it's a community where you live. We'll do some things for them, but there's limits, right? Like you'll invite people over for a meal, you're not going to give them necessarily money. You might lend them money, but that's a better level than just you or worrying about you and people who will help you. That's helping other people at some level, and that inspires us to do more. And you'll find that people who do community service or service to a team will achieve more. Teams that win often have players who aren't focused on their salary alone, but know that if the team wins, they all win. And then there's the highest level, which is that you're helping everybody, that your focus is on being great so that everybody benefits. That's where you hear an artist will talk about that they want to just make great music to inspire people. Yes, they make money at it, but the motivation, where they come from, is helping other people. And you might say, well, Bill, how does this all relate to me in real estate? It's the exact same thing. If you're struggling because all you want is to make money to pay your bills, all business is very difficult. Everything is hard. Every inconvenience is a challenge. That's why generally people who are married make more than people who are not married, because they have to make more to take care of somebody else. They'll work harder to take care of somebody else. I'll never forget the last time I had a job. I had a salaried position in coaching and management, and I left the job to go into real estate. And I used to get up for that job like at 5:30 in the morning. And I remember I was laying in bed, it was like 6 o'clock, and my wife turned to me and said, "Are you getting up sometime soon?" And I'm thinking, well, I don't really have to. I don't have a job anymore. And she's thinking, yeah, but you got to provide. You got to get up. I really hadn't thought through at that point. So my point is, we'll do more for somebody else than just ourselves. Who in your life should you be doing things for? For your spouse or your girlfriend or your kids, right? Taking care of them. The speaker today talked about the movie Cinderella Man, about James Braddock, the heavyweight fighter back in the 30s. Now he was impoverished, he was broken. He was so desperate for money, for food for his family, he took up boxing, brutal sport, brutal in those days, more so than now. And finally, the guy asked him, why are you fighting so hard? What's motivating you? And he said, I fight for milk for my kids. Right? This man is basically saying, I'm willing to go toe to toe with some of the toughest people in the world and let them punch me in the face, because not for myself, because I have to take care of my kids. That pushed him to another level. So who is in your life that you should be pushing for? And then the next level up is, who else can you be helping? You know, when you go to church, one thing I've learned is in every church, there's somebody, there's a pastor, there's a priest, there's a rabbi, who he's got plenty of uses for money if you don't have use for more. He knows all the people who are starving, struggling, can't buy clothes for their kids, can't get into school, can't go to camp. So if you're religious at all, go ask your religious leader, whoever that is, if I made an extra $50,000 this year, I want to give you 10% of it, what would you do with it? Or any other charity, any non-religious charity. There's always people who need money and need help. Find one that pushes you. Now, we often go, well, I don't want to know about that. Right, because that helps us be lazy. But if you want to make more money, find somebody besides you that you need to work for. And that will push you to do things you otherwise wouldn't do on your own. And that's why at the highest level, the people who give the most are like a Mother Teresa. They're just helping humanity. I'll tell you a story. Now, I don't know the guy, and I'm always cautious giving too much respect to somebody, because we're all human. We all have our failings. But I saw an amazing interview with Elon Musk, who, by the way, sold all his residential houses. I think he has like 8 kids or 9 kids or something. Of course, he can lease houses or whatever he wants to do. But when I listened to him talk, what I heard was a guy who was focused on solving humanity's big problems. Electric cars, because he's worried about creating an environment for the future. Space exploration of Mars, because he believes a great society explores other places. There's Boring Company, because we need a better way to tunnel through hills and mass transit. If you listen to him, at least my experience of listening was, he really is focused on helping humanity. And by the way, he became the richest man in the world along the way. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he's not crazy. I'm just saying that's the mentality you want to have, is the more people you want to help, the more you'll push yourself. And for many of you who can't get your first deal, that first person isn't you, but there's somebody outside of you that if you look in the mirror, you would say, yes, I need to step up and help that person out. Maybe it's your spouse or your significant other, or it's your kids, or it's your parents. Start there. And what I'm saying to all of us is, we all need to be bigger. We want a better society, starts at home. You want a better city with less crime and more success, it starts with us at home. And those of us who play in real estate are playing the biggest game in the world. More people make more fortunes in real estate than any other industry. And I'll say one other thing to you guys. This is the best time ever to make money in real estate, because of all the changes and all the uncertainty. If you can find an area of this business that you're certain about, people will flock to you, whether it be you certain they can make money, because there's money chasing returns right now, whether you can help people save their house, sell their house, or inspire people to be in your team to help you find people who need money or find people who need to sell houses. There's never been a better chance, because a better opportunity than right now, because there's plenty of money in the world and a lot of people who are scared and uncertain, looking for someplace to go. Okay, so sorry for all the sound in the beginning. At the end of the day, I guess the graphic isn't that important. Hopefully you got the point. George makes a great quote. It's really fascinating. When I was a kid, I was born in 1959. First president when I was born was Eisenhower, and then became John Kennedy. And I remember when I was, I remember the day Kennedy was shot. It was as a kid, but I knew everybody's crying. And, a lot of people really were hurt. A lot of people really respected him, maybe idolized him to some degree. But he was known for a famous quote. It was, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Now, he was a World War II veteran, right? He was wealthy. And whether he did it genuinely or not, I don't want to get a political discussion, but the concept of doing things for somebody bigger than yourself. Are the people that go in the military because they like killing bad guys? I'm sure there are, right? It's almost like legalized hunting. Hey, if you do that properly, whatever, do your job. There are other people who like to go and defend their own family, go in the military. There are other people who want to defend their own community. Other people want to defend their country. There are other people at the highest level, they want the world to be a better place. Now, I'm not saying how many are in your level, but you can see the higher level up you go, the more clarity you have, the more willingness you have to make the effort on a daily basis to be successful. And at the end of the day, whatever your plan is to make a lot of money or build wealth is going to require you to put the effort in every day, even when it's tough. But if you have a focus on something bigger than yourself, you'll put that effort in. That's a great quote. And thank you for the reminder, George. In fact, the person who made that speech I heard today said the same thing. Ask not what you can do for yourself, ask what you can do for your country. Fantastic quote. Okay, so that's the motivation I want to talk about. Obviously, we have some amazing news and changes in our economy. If you have any questions on interest rates, mortgages, or investment opportunities, I can help you guys with today. Raise your hand in the reactions if you're on the Zoom, or put a question in the chat box. I'm gonna do my best to pick up any questions. If you may have any questions, or you may have any good news you want to report and share with other people, I would love to have you share any good news. If you found a good property, you made a good sale, share that as well for us. I got a hand up. William Elkins, let's see here. Unmute yourself there. And what is up?
Hey, Bill, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man.
Good, man. So I just wanted to get your take on the impact of the market on the interest rates going up and inflation. Do you think that this is going to burst the bubble, so to speak, and we're going to really see a significant change in the market as far as maybe entering a buyer's market? Because I'm just seeing price reductions, man, and I'm interested in your opinion on it.
So the question is, with the interest rates going up now, it's funny when you said, as soon as you said interest rates going up, the first thing I did was check my phone. I've been checking rates throughout the day. I go to mortgagenewsdaily.com because the way you said it, I was concerned, well, maybe they went up again significantly from the last few weeks. And the answer is no, they've jumped up. But what I'll say to you, William, is, did I lose you? Are you still?
I'm here. I just muted because I'm at the car wash. Because I was at the
Okay,
car wash, so I just muted.
What I'll say about interest rates is, I don't predict the future. Now, if I was back in my home office, I would turn around and point to the fact I bought a crystal ball on Amazon. You can buy them for like $10, kind of cool. So I would say, I don't have a crystal ball. The truth is, I have a crystal ball. It's home in Los Angeles. It doesn't really work. It's just a joke. But what I would say about it is, I've been in real estate for 36 years. I wouldn't ever predict the future. But I do know today, and I can either list it as an agent or make money as an investor, that's a good thing. I might, if I thought rates were going to go up, I might not maybe invest as much capital or all my capital. I might be more prudent. But I'm in business every single day. Every day, I look for people to sell their house. And I can either help them by selling it, I can help them by buying it myself, or I can help them by finding somebody who wants to buy it for them. And so I think I would just say to you, William, you got to focus on those activities. It doesn't matter where the rates go, up or down. When they go up or when they go down, you'll know, and then you can pass on the new numbers to your customers, your prospects. But you've got to focus, I think, one of the keys of this market. Again, I said before, people are flocking to anybody with certainty. So when you're concerned the rates might go up or rates might go down, are you certain or uncertain, William?
That they're going up. They're certainly there, yeah.
Well, okay, so let me back up a little bit. Which way do you think rates are going? Are they going up? Are they going down? Or are they going to stay the same?
I think they're going to go up.
Okay. Do you feel certain about that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So then what you need to do is what's an appropriate strategy for somebody who believes interest rates are going up?
Well, I'm a listing agent, so I'm just kind of prepping my seller, just going into certain conversations or appointments, kind of giving them a heads up. We may not sell this as fast in the past, and may have some price reductions. But honestly, I'm thinking of working a little more with buyers.
Well,
Because
let me just share with you, William. I took a listing week before last. So I took it a week ago Thursday. Friday got an offer at full price. I got another offer on Sunday.
that's good.
And I thought it was overpriced. So what I would say is, don't be so sure you're right on the rates. Like the rate's been flat for about a week now. But what I'm sure of, one thing I'm totally sure of, is that either way, every day, you need to talk to more people to find more people to sell their house. That I know with certainty. True or false?
True.
Focus on that.
Topic of conversation. Now it's a topic of
Focus
conversation.
on that. Put all your focus on that.
Absolutely.
Because if you do that, it'll all take care of itself. If you don't do that, you're gonna have a problem, aren't you?
Yes. Right. Thank you.
So I don't know that I would say rates are going up. They went up. That's true. I can say with certainty they went up. I can say that they're at 6.03 for 30-year fixed rate. They're at or near the top they've been in the last 10 years. But that doesn't mean they're going to go up more. It doesn't mean they're going to go down. It means it is where it is. It may go up, it may go down. But either way, you've got to focus on what is today. I mean, I don't know about you. I have to make money every day. I'm a bit. Okay, well, there you go. Okay, so we're not let people unmute themselves. And there we go. Somebody's having some fun. That's just a shame. Okay, so I think we're going to kick them out. Just 1 second. Move. Crazy. Okay, but what I can tell you is for sure, you've got to talk to more people every day and get better at the way you talk to them. And that's your challenge and my challenge. That's why I'm talking to you about it. Because you've got to make more money. I've got to make more money than I have yesterday. The only solution is to do our job and do it better and faster. True or true?
True. That's good. Yeah.
It's time for you. We got to focus on that. Who do you have to provide for, Willie? Besides yourself, you're married, you have kids?
Family, not married just yet, but I do have a lot of responsibilities. So and it just goes back to mindset. No matter what the market is, if you have that mindset, you'll be successful in a down or up market. So you're going back to my KW days. Yeah, it's all about mindset. So yeah, gotta stay positive.
Yeah, you got to stay positive, but you got to do your job and focus on what is. And so that's why I talked about focusing on helping other people. If you got to take care of your wife, your kids, or whatever, you have time to really play around with where rates are going. If you don't, you can sit around and watch YouTubes all day. They're going to tell you rates are going to go up and the housing market's going to crash. Maybe it will. I don't have a crystal ball that works. I have a crystal ball that doesn't do anything. But what I know is I got to do my job every day. What I know is I need to talk to people and find people to sell houses, and then I either help them sell it, buy it, or find somebody to buy it from them. That I know every single day. Every single day. Make sense?
Sure.
Good. Okay, Dave Weinerman, what's up, man?
How are you? Oh, I'm not off mute. Nice to see you, Bill, and everybody else. Great to see everybody. And so I'll just share my 2 cents, whatever, for whatever it's worth, maybe less than that because of inflation. And that is that I think you're onto something there, Bill, in that I think rates will somewhat plateau a little bit. And I think also we have to keep in mind what's going on in our country, this time of year. We're approaching an election in November. And I think, and there's another one 2 years later. And regardless of who's in power, they don't want the economy to stall out. Nobody does, because that impacts their ability to get reelected or elected. And so I think that we're going to all be okay. The world is not going to come to an end, and we're going to be okay. And rates are not going to go crazy. They might feel like they are right now, but it's just because we've been living in an artificially suppressed rate market for a long, long time. And there it is.
Well, I think that, let me ask you this, even if you're right, don't we have an election every 2 years, a national election every 2 years?
Well, we have elections. Yes, we just don't have a presidential election, right? Every
4 years.
Every 4
We
years.
have a presidential. Right. Every 2 years we have a nationwide. And so my point of that is just to say, we always have an election coming up in 2 years and a presidential coming up in less than 4 years. We're always in that position. Either way, there's certain things that you're supposed to be doing on a daily basis for your business. I don't know what they are in your case, but particular, but imagine it's either talk to people who have money to invest with you, or talk to people who have property that they can sell you, or that you can look at to evaluate to develop, right? That no matter what happens, those things are true. And that's my point of this call, is to say you got to focus on that.
There are very limited things that we can all control. Our effort and our energy, is something we all have within our control.
Exactly. And our focus.
Yep.
So for example, I read real estate news an hour a week. I actually have my calendar. Either I do it on Sunday or Friday, typically. And I read through all the news and I write up a piece of content for my business and I send it out to my client database. But I don't watch it during the week. It's just too depressing. I imagine, I'm not in the business of news, but I imagine people are depressed will sit around and watch the news all day. People are motivated will get out and do something. So if you're in the news business, you want people sitting at home depressed all day long watching your news program. I can't afford to do that. I got bills to pay, not bills. I have dreams to finance. I've got people's lives to change. And I just urge everybody here, whether you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter if the rates are going to go up or going to go down. Today, if you're in business, you got to sell a house today. You got to find a house today. So
Right.
Liana says to me personally, if I can share that out loud, I think I can. What websites to recommend? So if you watch my YouTube channel, I put out a piece of content every week and I email it to my database once a month. I'm sorry, every week as well, on Monday, every week. And the theme is always how bad real estate industry news is, how misleading it is. And what I would always say is ignore the headlines, read the data, right? There's a phrase it used to be popular in Google, which was data walks data talks and everything else walks. When you make decisions, you got to look at the data. And it used to be Zillow was a great source of research. Now Zillow is just an advertising website. Redfin, literally last week, the founder, as they're cutting jobs, said they're going to cut back on their research and analysis, which also means they'll focus more on being an advertising website and less on a source of information. So I do read the data from ATTOM, ATTOM. I do read the data from Terradatum. I do read data from the National Association of Realtors with a grain of salt, California Association of Realtors with a grain of salt. I do have, like everybody, go through various business press sources. What I like to do is find the headlines and I read the article and see how the article disputes the headline. That's my basic premise. So the headline will say housing is going to crash. Well, why? But when you read the reason why, it's nonsense. So again, I have a YouTube channel, Bill Gross EXP, or if you go to youtube.com/BillGrossEXP, I do a real estate market update every Monday. And if you look at those, you'll see I'll cite different sources and I'll put them on the screen. I'm glad to share with you what I'm reading. But as far as what's the best source of good information, there aren't too many. You know, there's Seeking Alpha is a website on finance in general that's very good. But I would always say that information is only as good as the author. The headline is usually written by a headline editor to get attention, whether it's political news or news of the day or business news. I would be very careful to not rely on an article and really read the information, make sure that it backs up. And because I do this all the time. Okay, if you have another question, I see Winston, your hand's up. If anybody has a question, go ahead and we're not going to let people unmute themselves because we have somebody who's trying to get back to Zoom bomb us again because the first time just wasn't fun enough, I guess. So whatever. But Winston, I see your hand up. You're muted. What's going on?
Actually, I'm just going to piggyback on this same conversation because I've been blessed to be in this business like you here, Bill, a long time. And I had one of the nicest old guys in the business I ever met told me years and years and years ago, doesn't really matter what's happening in the market. What's really happening in the market is what's happening between here and here. And that's our mindset, which you'd already referenced. And I can tell you, I've been around when it's a buyer's market, it's been a seller's market, rates been up, rates been down. Doesn't matter. People still got to buy, people still got to sell. Okay. And we have to be there to get in the way to help them do what they need to do. And then lastly, we talk about rates going up. I challenge everybody to do this homework assignment. Go back and Google the 50-year history of mortgage rates. Go back to 1972 and go forward.
Yeah.
Throw out the 2 to 3%, throw out the 16 to 18% in 81. The median across the board, okay, is just under 8%. It's like 7.95. So when you give people history and give them a reality check and let them know, hey, we're in the buys, we're in the low sixes compared to what the 50-year average is, we're still looking good. So I think it's the manner in which we present the facts to our client will be the manner in which they accept the facts. So that's
100%.
There you go.
I've been in this business longer than many people in this call have been alive. I remember I started in 1986, and then rates at one point crossed below 10%. And that was big. I'm trying to think, what was the biggest news story of the last 10 years? I don't know what that would be. It was as big as men landing on the moon. Everybody talked about interest rates. The phones rang so much. On those days, we didn't have voicemail, wasn't common. People had cell phones. It was a different time. But phones rang nonstop at the bank I worked, nonstop all day long, 24 hours a day. People trying to get in to refinance loans. I had a colleague. We would get these, the receptionist would take messages, people wanted to refinance loans because the rates had come down below 10. We had so many leads. This colleague of mine literally overdosed. She took all the leads she couldn't get to, curled up in a ball, took some barbiturates or something. Just couldn't handle the stress of all the business coming in the door so fast. That was when rates came below 10% for the first time. I also remember I was working at Keller Williams in West LA when cap rates in Beverly Hills came below 10%. The rates that investors would get for their money, the capitalization rate. People said, well, nobody's going to buy a property at 9% cap rate. Well, for the last few years, people have been buying properties in Beverly Hills with cap rates of 1.5% and 2%. They're glad to get 2% cash and hope the property appreciates in the long run. But below 10%, they thought it was impossible to sell. So the people who said rates will, nobody will buy property below 10, not only were they wrong, they spent a lot of time telling people what turned out to be wrong. It's not that they were wrong, it's that they didn't do their work, and that got in the way. And so I would just say, wherever rates are today, I've got to sell some houses. It doesn't really matter, up or down. Mama's got to get some new shoes and a purse. Kids got to get paid. It doesn't really matter. And you're 100% right, Winston. I love that homework. I wish if I was in my home office, I'd pull up that graphic and show you guys that for the majority of last 50 years, rates at 6% would have been celebrated in the long run. Okay, Cheryl Williams, let me get you to unmute yourself if I can. And let's get you on here. Let's see.
Hi. Can you hear me?
What's up, Cheryl? Yeah, what's up?
Good. Sorry, I'm not on camera. I don't feel like I look camera ready right this second.
Okay. Oh, Cheryl, you're the eye candy for my show. I need you.
Oh, I love you. But I just wanted to know, I've been just not having too much success with the slow farming that I'm doing. That's why I put in the chat about anybody have any properties that they already have, do they want to list it? And I wanted to ask, since I'm not at the actual investing stage yet, and prior conversations that we've had, you had to just focus on being the listing, do the realtor job first. So I wanted to know, should I try to gather money together to buy some leads from Zillow and Realtor.com first? I mean, because it seems like those are the fastest way to get leads. I tried some door knocking. I'm still doing that. But I don't know. I feel like such a schlep rock. What do you recommend?
Well, okay. So there's a difference between buying leads and buying data. Buying data is like going gold mining. You got to buy a pick. You got to buy, I don't know what other things you have to have, a bucket or a pan, or that's the equipment of doing your job.
Yeah.
Is buying data. So if you want to get a data source, I've had on my show, Land Voice. I've had PropStream is good. I met today with some guys from a company I used to use, RedX, theredx.com.
I was signed up with RedX.
So that's data. That's not leads, that's data. Data is like buying flour or sugar or vegetable shortening or whatever. And then I don't know about you. I don't bake. My wife does. So I kind of know a little bit about it. But what I do know is you can buy the flour, but you won't end up with good bread, right? The flour is just one piece of the work. Yes, you got to go to the market and buy the flour. But if you buy the data, it's like going to Ralph's or Vaughn's, buying a pound of flour, sticking it in your kitchen, and watching it, expecting to get some bread out of it. That's data. Versus leads. A lead is normally defined as somebody who's interested in doing something. There's a qualification level. They want to buy, they want to sell. What Zillow does is they're an advertising company. And what they do is they want to sell data. But they've realized that real estate agents, by and large, won't convert the data and be able to be good customers as much. So they're now trying to sell leads. Or another way of thinking is they don't want to sell flour, they want to sell baked bread. What I'll tell you is if you can't convert data into leads on your own, you're not going to convert their leads and be profitable. Buying, and all the top agents now who've learned this the hard way, who've stuck around for years, will say they'll buy some Zillow leads to add into their business. But they're adding into their business, not building a business from scratch on Zillow leads. So I don't know anybody who didn't sell houses and sold enough because they invested in Zillow leads or Realtor.com leads. Maybe there's the one person who did it 10 years ago, not in Southern California, not today. So I would say to anybody, whether a realtor or a investor, you've got to talk to a lot of people and find one or two a day that need to sell or need to buy, not want to buy, need to buy every day. That's your job. And usually means you have to buy data and convert that into listings or sales by calling 40 or 50 people a day to find one or two motivated leads.
You don't pay. How do you find those people? Yeah, but yeah.
Well, if you buy Red X and you call everybody who's expired and say, hey, I see property is expired in the MLS. I was calling to see when you plan to interview the right agent for the job of selling your home. Most of them will hang up. Some will cut you out. Some will ignore you. But if you call 40 or 50 people a day, one or two will say, well, yeah, actually, you sound like what I'm looking for. Or yeah, we're trying to sell our house. The other agent didn't do the job. So that's a long discussion. How do you do it? I'm just going to give you the overview. The 50,000 foot view today is you've got to talk to about 40 or 50 people a day, every work day, 5 days a week. You get good at that. to find it. And you're not gonna magically shortcut the process by paying Zillow to call 50 people to give you the one or two. You've got to do that work and figure that out. Then once you're doing that, you can buy some extra leads from Zillow.
Got it. No, I had Red X and I had it for like 6 months or 8 months or whatever, and it just didn't seem to be, worth, what I was spending. Like I just had like the expireds and the for sale by owners. And
That's the equivalent of saying I bought flour at Vaughn's and I baked bread and it always came out lousy. And what I would say is my wife baked a lot of bread before she got really good at it. Now she makes bread every week. We're religious. We have a Sabbath meal in our house every Friday night. My wife is really, really, really good at it. Now she's not the world's best cook, but she might be one of the world's best makers of we call challah, which is bread for our Sabbath, because
Love
she did
challah.
over and over and over again. Okay, so I would say to you got to take that data and get so good at it that you can convert it before you give up on it.
Okay, maybe I'll try Red X again.
Well, you got to find some data and you got to work at it. You got to work on your skills too. We'll talk.
Okay, thank you.
But Teresa Castillo, I see your hand up. What is up, lady?
Hi, Bill. I just wanted to say that, one of the things that I did last year was I created my Google My Business page, right? And I started learning just by reading online and watching some YouTube tutorials that you can post on that maybe once a month, some kind of market update. So informational, posts so that clients can start finding you online. And at first I thought, this isn't really working. I mean, I see people viewing my information, but they're not actually reaching out to me. So just recently, I started getting leads into my KV Core bill that we use with EXP. And it says source Google My Business. And I thought, wow, it's finally working. People are seeing my stuff and they're actually looking at my website now and viewing properties, for sale. So, it's like what Bill said about being the pastry chef. I mean, the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. So you have to keep working at it.
Oh. You got to say that one again. I never heard that one. That's a new one to me.
The
Go ahead,
day
one more
you
time.
plant the seed is not the day that you're going to eat the fruit.
Ooh,
So that just became a
that
realization
hurts.
for me, because I just saw all the posts that I've been doing on Google My Business page. It's finally, I'm finally seeing the fruit of my labor. I'm seeing people register on my website, starting to, search for properties, and there's more activity on my real estate website.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
definitely.
free. You can use that. It's a free online tool to help boost your name on Google, and people can find you that way. So if you don't have a Google My Business page, that's really important so people can find you.
Well, I think it's great advice. The time things take, it definitely takes longer than you would ever imagine to build a business. I heard Grant Cardone recently say that even if you have the best product or service and you gave it away for free, it would take 10 times the work you could imagine to sell it, because people are distracted, they're busy. And so, when Cheryl, when you talk about that, I would just say, let's be honest. If you had got the Red X data and you had talked to 10 times the people that you did talk to, do you think there might have been a sell there somewhere? I think you muted yourself back again. So I'll let you, let's see, I'll try to ask you to unmute. If you talk, whatever number of people you talk to, do you think if you talked to 10 times the number, you would have got better at it? You would have got better at talking to people, and as a result, would have got more sales? Yes or no?
I would have to venture a yes.
Well, stop. Just stop and own that for a second. Just stop and own that. Right? Yeah. And you had the data. You paid for it. You had the numbers to call. So the question you have to ask is,
They were bad numbers though.
Okay, most are bad. Some are good. When people dig a diamond mine, most of it's dirt, a little bit's diamonds, but they make $1 billion. Your job is to dig through the dirt to find the diamonds. That's the business you're in.
So I'll re-sign up for the least, like I had the least
Well,
expensive.
before you sign up, You better get your mindset right. I don't want you to waste any money, Cheryl. I really don't. You've got to understand what the job is. The job is removing the dirt to find the diamonds. And you've got to believe, you got to trust the process. That if you talk to 10 times the people, you will find sales. You've got to know that. Don't buy the data until you know that.
No, I trust that. And I'm going
Give me
to.
an I believe. Give me an I believe.
I believe the
Put
children of
hands
the
up.
world.
I believe.
No, I believe it. No, I do believe it because, I did talk to some people through, my expired and my circle prospecting and my for sale by owners. The for sale by owners were the worst, obviously. But now I have a new.
Whoa. They're not the worst. They're just buried in more dirt.
Okay. They're buried in much, much dirt. And so I didn't spend too much time with them. And I just thought after 6 or 8 months, I think it was more like 8 months, it just wasn't working. But you're saying that I just didn't give it enough time because I need to speak to X.
No. In the 8 months you made your phone calls, if you talked to 10 times the number of people, do you think you would have got some sales?
Yes. It's just the number of people that I was talking to wasn't anywhere near even 20 a day.
If you talked to 40 a day, do you think you would have made more sales?
Yes.
Talk to 40 a day.
How do I do that though, in terms of like go outside of my farm, just call anybody anywhere and find out, because I was just going in the areas that
do you think if you talk to 40 people a day, you'd find 1 or 2 a day that would be interested in selling a house and maybe 1 a month that would sell with you?
Yes, maybe, yes.
There you go. No, I'm telling you the answer is yes.
Yes. Okay.
You got to talk to a lot more people. Just own that you got to talk to more. What do I got to do to get there? Look, that's the whole reason why we're this 10X wristband with Grant Cardone. I was struggling when I launched my real estate business back into production 3.5 years ago. I was not getting the results I wanted. And his premise is, the question to ask is, what would you have to do 10 times the business you're doing now? Not a little bit more, 10 times. I said, well, I guess I have to talk to 10 times more people. Well, I can't talk to 10 times more people if I was talking to 40 a day. Well, I was already talking to 40 people a day. I broke down how many I really ended. You have 40 conversations or contacts. That's not really conversations. That's why I did social media. That's why I do Zoom calls. I have 25 on this call. I had 70 a call earlier today. I'll have another 100 on Thursday and a couple other, 10s and 20s here and there, because I have to talk to more people. There's no solution for any of us doing more business that doesn't probably include talking to a lot more people. That's my point.
It's not necessarily over the phone. I can still door knock and,
All right, great. Door knock. Okay.
Just whatever
Good.
it takes to get to that number of 50 to 60 people a day.
Yes, whatever it takes. Do that for 90 days, count your numbers. Talk to 40 people a day for 90 days and come back and tell me it doesn't work.
Come back and tell you that it does work.
It will work. That's why I'm not worried about you. Come say it doesn't work, because it would work.
Okay, thanks, Doc. All right. Okay, thanks. I'll do that.
Let's do this.
Yes.
William Elkins, what is up?
I just wanted to ask the lady with the Google My Business page, how long did it take for her to start getting some inbound leads?
I started my page sometime last year, so I want to say it's been probably right about a year, maybe 10 months.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I started I started putting pictures of properties that I had sold, which weren't that many last year, and also, as Bill mentioned, he sends out some kind of information market update every week. So what I started doing was I send out an email also to my database weekly. So I basically started, since it's market updates or interest rates and things like that, I would basically just copy that information and post it onto my Google page, because it's still some kind of market related information. So when people go to my business page on Google My Business, you're going to see a variety of either properties or market updates, interest rates, things like that.
So let me ask you something, Patricia, because I know you. I think I know you well enough to push you a little bit here. So, whatever amount of you posting you did over the last 10 months, if you'd done 10 times more posting from day one, do you think you would have got more results sooner?
Yes, I just I didn't take the time to really learn about Google My Business. I created it in the beginning, and I thought, okay, it's done. But after talking to a marketing specialist, he's the one that said, you know, I asked him to look at my page, and I said, what do you think is missing? And he goes, well, you can be posting on here. The other thing you can do is use it as a platform, so people will ask you a question on there. You can ask your friend, like, hey, post a real estate question here on my page so that I can answer it. Right. So you start getting that engagement. So that's another way that you can use it. So yes,
my point is, though, the more you do, the more results you get faster, right?
Right.
So whatever you do, so I don't want anybody to hear what you said to do and post once in a while. I also encourage you, whatever you're doing, just do 10 times more, whatever it is.
Right. Yeah. And now I'm posting regularly because now I know how it works and I've learned more about it. But if you're not sure how to use it, I encourage everybody to learn how to use it. Google My Business so that you can start posting on there and getting more exposure when people, Google's a search engine. So when you look somebody up, I mean, it'll be easier for them to find that person. So if they're looking for you in whatever area that is you're servicing, it'll be easier for people to find you that way. And you want your name on the internet. You want to be able to have people locate you if they Google your name.
Right. Well, and I also, post on Google My Business and do a lot of stuff. I would just say, and I've got to do more. I on my main call, which is my probate weekly call, I've been maxed out at about 100 people a week, and I'm sitting here in my mind thinking, what do I have to do to get to 1,000? I have to upgrade my Zoom account, but what would I have to do to get 1,000 people on a call instead of 100? What would that do? What would that be like? How would that feel? Right? Because whatever it is you're doing, you gotta do more. Now, maybe 1,000 there isn't as important as 10 times something else, but I'm just saying to us all, to everybody on this call, you want more business? You want to tell me the business stuff? Do more. Do more to generate the business. And I repeat this statistic all the time. In my MLS, in a great month, we have 11,000 sides. In a lousy month, we have 7,000. It's still 7,000 sides in a bad month. And I only need 1 or 2 a month to make a good living. So don't get caught up in the market stats and the market direction and the market information and the news. You need to know what you need to know to help your customers. But you've got to get to work and talk to more people. That's my message for today. So we'll have a guest next week, but I really wanted to share. So did it come across today? Just real quick, put in the chat box. Yes or no. Did my passion for this business come across today? Do you guys get this? Or is it just me? I feel it, and look, the only person I need to make happy here is me. I do this to help you. I do this to try and encourage you guys to get your first sale. Okay? And what I want to say is, I feel better about this business right now than any time because people are desperate for certainty. They're desperate for direction. They're desperate for help. And I'm there to help them. So I want to say to all of you guys, let's get to work. Let's get busy. Do some work and come back next week and tell us how you did. We're going to wrap up. We're dinner time. This is our real estate investing Zoom. Now, exciting news. We're rebranding this starting next week. It's going to be LA Real Estate LA. Whoa. LA. Well, you'll get it, whatever it is. I'll send messages. But we're rebranding it, we're renaming it, new domain name, and we've partnered up with the LA Real Estate Investment Club. I'm going to be this will be the official podcast for them, which means we're going to get some better guests. We're going to get some more marketing support behind it. Hopefully, give you guys better tools to help you make more income and build more wealth, because that's our goal here. And I'm committed to helping you. I know if I help you, it'll work out for me. I'm not worried about it. So again, we do this every week. Tuesdays, 3 o'clock Pacific time, which is 6 o'clock Eastern time, where I'm today in Orlando, Florida. Thank you for those who participated. Have a great week. If I can help at all, reach out. Bill Gross at exp.com, at exp on social media. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great week.